You know, whenever you use something like Search, Gmail, or Google Cloud, there's this immense, powerful security system working completely behind the scenes. It's so seamless, you probably don't even notice it's there. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the incredible strategy that keeps your digital life safe. And that right there is the core idea. See, security isn't about finding one single magic bullet. Nope. Instead, Google's approach is all about building progressive layers of defense. It's a strategy that provides what's called true defense in depth, and it makes the entire system incredibly resilient. So, to really get a grip on how this all works, we're going to use a metaphor. We're going to build a digital fortress together. We'll start with the actual physical foundation and then construct each layer of security, one by one, just like Google does. Here's our blueprint for today. We're going to start with the physical fortress, then move on to the unbreakable code. After that, we'll meet the digital gatekeepers, then we'll start patrolling the perimeter, and finally, we'll put in place the always watchful eye. Let's get to it.
All right. Our first layer is the one you could actually, touch. It's the physical fortress itself. These are the real-world buildings where your data actually lives.
And the scale here is, well, it's truly massive. Google runs over 30 of these super advanced data centers all across the globe. They are the powerful backbone for all the services you use every single day, like YouTube and Gmail, making sure everything runs smoothly and, of course, securely. Now, the physical security here, it goes way beyond just some fences and guards. We are talking about biometric authentication, fingerprint and eye scanners, just to get in the door. And inside, they use something called the principle of least privilege, which is really just a fancy way of saying only a tiny handful of people have access to specific areas, and only when they absolutely have to be there. So here's the really crucial takeaway from this part. Before a single line of code even enters the picture, your data is already protected inside a physical vault. The security is literally built into the foundation of the fortress. Okay, so our physical walls are secure. It's time to build our next layer of defense, the unbreakable code. And this is where the magic of encryption comes into play. Encryption is a wonderfully simple idea with incredible power. Think of it exactly like a secret code. It just scrambles your data into a completely unreadable format, and only someone who has the correct key can unscramble it and make sense of it all. It's kind of like sending your information in a locked box that only the right person can open. And with Google's approach, your data isn't just encrypted some of the time, it's encrypted all of the time. It doesn't matter if it's at rest, just sitting on a server, in transit, flying across the internet, or even in use while a computer is processing it. It is always, always protected by that secret code. Right. We have secure walls, and our data is written in a secret code. But how do we control who actually gets in and out of the fortress? Well, that brings us to our third layer, the digital gatekeepers. This all boils down to what folks in the industry call the 3 A's. First up is authentication, which is basically the gatekeeper checking your ID. Second is authorization. That's the access control system deciding which rooms in the fortress you're allowed to go into. And finally, there's auditing, which is like the surveillance system, keeping a detailed log of everything you do. I bet you've used this yourself with two-step verification. That's your own personal gatekeeper. But for a big organization, Google provides this incredibly powerful tool called Identity and Access Management, or IAM. Think of it like a central security headquarters, giving an administrator the power to decide exactly who gets to do what, down to the tiniest detail for the whole company. So, we've got our fortress, our secret code, and our gatekeepers. Now we need to defend the walls from any outside attacks. And this brings us to our fourth layer, patrolling the perimeter. A really key concept in modern network security is something called zero trust. See, in the old days, the idea was you'd build a strong wall and then you'd trust everyone inside. Well, zero trust assumes threats could be anywhere, so every single request to access data is verified from scratch, no matter where it's coming from. Trust is never, ever just given away for free. Now, one of the most common ways to attack those fortress walls is with something called a DDoS attack. This is pretty much a digital battering ram. Attackers just flood a website or a service with so much junk traffic that it gets completely overwhelmed and becomes unavailable for the real legitimate users. To defend against threats like that, Google provides a whole arsenal of tools that act like a digital moat around the fortress. This includes firewalls to block bad traffic, secure private connections using things like Cloud VPN, and, most importantly, Google Cloud Armor,
which is basically a powerful force field designed specifically to stop those DDoS attacks dead in their tracks.
We've built our fortress. We've fortified the walls. But a fortress isn't static, right? It needs constant vigilance. And that brings us to our final, critical layer, the always watchful eye of security operations, or SecOps for short.
SecOps is really the combination of people, processes, and tech that keeps the fortress safe 24/7. It's all about proactively checking the walls for any weak spots, keeping a watchful eye on all the activity happening, having a team of expert knights ready to respond to any incident, and of course teaching everyone inside the castle how to be vigilant themselves.
And the result of all this constant vigilance? It's huge. Strong security operations do a lot more than just reduce risk. They keep services online and reliable, they help companies deal with complex regulations, and they even boost productivity by preventing security disruptions in the first place. It's truly the living, breathing part of any modern security strategy.
So there you have it. From the physical foundation all the way to the ever-watchful eye of SecOps, we've built our digital fortress, layer by protective layer. This defense-in-depth strategy is what keeps Google's infrastructure so secure. But it does leave us with one final thought. As our digital world keeps expanding and new threats pop up, what do you think the next, still unwritten layer of this fortress is going to look like?